Lamar Jackson is playing at top form as the Baltimore Ravens fly to Phoenix to play the Arizona Cardinals, who are honestly, to me, just kind of like they remind me of the Lions from Dan Campbell's first year in 2021. Just play super hard every single play, but just don't have the overall talent. And I feel like this is going to be a great game. Love it when two birds fight against one another here. But I think the Ravens are just a little bit bigger than the Cardinals. Biologically. So I'll quit being a dork, but get to football now. But one huge shout out to the Ravens as well, especially after a dominant victory against the Lions. Ryan, I think you and I don't think that we downplayed the Ravens' possibility to win the game, but we definitely didn't really give them much of a chance. We thought the Lions were going to pull out victorious in that one. And the Lions stayed in Detroit and did not show at all. And the Ravens dominated that game. Great performance all around from Lamar, Mark Andrews defensively as well.
Yeah, I mean, so I will say I've been very critical of Lamar Jackson, especially this season, and he proved me wrong last week. It was on one instance, but he has not been the MVP caliber quarterback that he was because they're evolving this offensive system. They're making it much more pass-oriented, and frankly, he just didn't quite look very comfortable in that. He had some really rough games in a more passing-focused role. And last week, he threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I don't have his stats off the bat for yards and completion percentage or whatnot.
So Lamar Jackson, 21 for 27, 387 yards, 3 touchdowns. About as good of a QB rating as 155.8.
Yeah, 155.8.
Isn't the maximum 156, I think?
Yeah, it's like 156.3.
It's
158.3. It's really close.
That's about as close perfect game. Another thing on top of that, too, was just how balanced, literally how balanced the play calling was. He had 27 passes. I'm not going to count Tyler Huntley's 1 pass. I guess as a team, they had 28 passes. But they also had 27 rushes as well for 146 yards.
That's a recipe for success.
I know, and I'll say, and I'm not trying to make this caveat, I know the Lions defense has had some injuries, but at the same time, though, so have the Ravens. And you can't, for how dominant of a victory this was, it wasn't like it was the Detroit Lions JV team that was out there. Like, you still had Aiden Hutchinson out there, you still had Brian Branch, you still had a lot of their top guys that were out there. And they just dominated them. And those are things, too, I will say, when some of my concerns with the Ravens coming into this game is for me to have even more confidence with the Ravens is then do it again this week, to have that same performance build off of that. Because I feel sometimes, and leave a comment down below, Ravens fans, if you disagree with me, but one of the things leading up to the game last week is that they couldn't play 4 quarters, I feel like this, offensively. Defensively, not surprised by the performance at all. A little shocked by the Lions not being able to put up as much of a fight, but still not shocked that the Ravens defense showed up. But I feel like offensively, the Ravens sometimes had stalled for like 20 to 25 minutes in a game. But last week, though, no, absolutely not. We want to see more of those performances if those teams are going to go and beat the Browns, the Bengals, Steelers, and win the AFC North and go up against playoff runs. That's what they're going to need to do if they play the Chargers in the playoffs, if they play Miami or the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. It's these types of 60-minute performances offensively. And it was very impressive last week against the Lions, against a good Lions team.
Yeah. And that's I think that's what they're capable of doing. I mean, that is efficiency to the maximum right there. 21 to 27, 350 passing yards, and then 27 rushes for 146. Like, that's almost 500 yards of total offense off of 54 plays. So you're averaging about almost 10 yards a play. What was that? 5 touchdowns total. I mean,
5 touchdowns.
Yeah. And so like that's going to win you 9 out of 10 games. That's going to win you a lot of football games.
That's going to win you a lot of games. Yeah.
So if they can keep that up, that would be fantastic. I do want to switch over to the Arizona Cardinals now. Just talk about them briefly before we get into our predictions here. This team continues to fight hard. I mean, they're 1-6, but this is not the typical 1-6 team that I think you can go and write off. Actually, to be fair, I think they're the only 1-6 team in the league. But the Panthers are 0-6, and we could pretty much say they're going to win 1 or 2 games the rest of the year, and like they're only going to have a couple chances to even come close to winning a game. Yeah. Whereas like the Cardinals, you can't really say that about any game because like they showed up and beat the Cowboys. They were within 1 score of the 49ers in the fourth quarter. They played the Seahawks tough. Like, they're in all of these games.
Yeah.
So
even last week too, I think the biggest thing now for the Cardinals is losing James Conner. I think he was a key piece of this offense. He was your kind of do-it-all type back, and now they're having this kind of running back by committee type approach with Keontae Ingram, Emery DeMarcado, and then I think there's another guy as well, Williams. I'm blank on his first name.
Damian Williams.
I think so, yeah. But losing James Conner to IR, that's when this offense really started to drop. And because what Conner is your 3-down back, he's a hard runner. And I think he just sparks that life, helps out with an overall balance to this offense, especially too with a team that just talent-wise just is not top-notch to begin with. I love the Josh Dobbs story. Love that he's getting his chance in the NFL, but he needs to have consistent skill position players around him like James Conner. I think Marquise Brown is doing well also. I did see Zach Ertz also is on IR as well, so Trey McBride's going to have to step up and fill that tight end role as well. Michael Wilson seems to be a good young player that they can build off of. But that's just where I mentioned all those names as well, and that's just where it is just tough for them to go and win games on talent. They're going to have to go and outplay teams like how they just have to play harder than like how they did against the Cowboys, play harder like how they did against the Giants in the first half of that week 2 game, come out hard against the Bengals, come out hard against the Seahawks, only hold that Seahawks team to 20 points. Just a good overall performance. And so it is going to be tough for me to see them winning more games just on talent, but they keep playing this hard that they'll knock out a couple here as well. Before the end of the season. Before we go on to predictions, if you have not already up to this point, thanks for watching. Like this video, hit that subscribe button. Help Ryan and I reach our goal of getting to 2,000 subscribers by Halloween, which is just under a week away by the time that this video is released. We appreciate any help that's possible. Also, too, it is the easiest way for you to get notified whenever we create new Tracy Take content. Ryan, with that being said, I want to throw it over to you. Who do you think is going to win this game and why?
I think Baltimore is going to win this game. I just think they're the better team. I will say the way that Arizona plays, sometimes this happens with Baltimore is like example, the Steelers game, they do come out and just kind of like lay an egg. The team just gets after Lamar Jackson. They make him uncomfortable. And they keep this game very low scoring. And like, I could actually see that scenario in this game just with how hard the Cardinals are playing. But I think the Ravens better team, more playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. And I just like them in this matchup.
Yeah. No, I'm also going to go with the Ravens as well. And so I can agree with you on there. And it's like, don't do a Cowboys thing and fly to Phoenix and just think that you've got this victory, because the Cardinals team, they play extremely hard and they will burn you. There is now enough game experience up to this point of the season where I think they can close out some of these big matches, because honestly, every single game for them is they're the underdogs. I don't think they've been favored in a game yet this season. I'd have to go back and double check. But Baltimore, if they come out, play smart, if they're ready, which I believe they are, just on paper, they're just the better team. And I think they're going to win this game, especially too now with some of the injuries the Cardinals seem to be racking up, and the Ravens seem to be getting healthier as well, which is good. So I want to go with the Ravens in this one. And there's one thing too: that you win this game, go to 5-2.
6-2.
6-2. Then they got 3 straight home games against the Seahawks, the Browns, and the Bengals. Then they're at the Chargers as well. So their next 4 games following this one.
Those are tough games.
Tough games, but Browns, if Deshaun Watson's still hurt, Seahawks, DK Metcalf did not play in last week's game, and also too, they're struggling a little bit with consistency. I feel the Bengals, who really knows kind of what the Bengals are going to be like in a month from now. They're going to be better than what they were like in week 2, but the Ravens were able to pull out a victory in that one. And then on the road to the Chargers are probably one of the most inconsistent teams. If you go look at overall talent on the roster as well, because they have a lot of good talent on the team, but they're so inconsistent. If they can pull off a good run here, it beats some more division rivals. They can start to, I think, run away maybe a little bit with this AFC North and put themselves in a good position to finish the year strong, because they're going to need to, because they finished up with the Jags, Niners, Dolphins, and Steelers. So I think that's just a tough home stretch, and I don't want to play Mike Tomlin in January with the game on the line. He seems to just always win those weird games. So, but I think the Ravens have a good opportunity here to continue their winning streak, and then also to over these next couple of weeks to kind of run away with the AFC North.
Yeah. But we're both going with the Ravens. Let's go ahead and wrap this video up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. And other than that, we will see you guys next time.